Hey y'all, welcome to the very first episode of Cmor of Life Unfiltered. We're your hosts, Sam and Alisha, high school sweethearts turned forever partners.
This podcast is about love, learning, and adventure.
We're bringing you the raw, the real,
and the unfiltered. Welcome
to Cmor of Life
Unfiltered.
Well, let's take it back. Where did we first meet?
High school, for those who don't know. We met senior year in our 6th period English class.
Yes, we did. I remember that very well.
The thing that's crazy is everyone talks about things align, right? And everything happens for a reason. I was in a different class for like the first 2 days of senior year. And it was because I was taking a physics class and I was like, this is a hard class and I don't need another science. I'm done with science. So I dropped the class, which switched my schedule and put me into a different English class at a different time.
For me, I was not supposed to be in English class because I was supposed to have taken that during the summer. And being the undiagnosed ADHD procrastinator that I am, I didn't quite do that. So I had to take it. And that's how I ended up in the same class.
It worked out.
It did.
And Mrs. Dick, shout out Mrs. Dick.
Whoop, whoop.
She was our 6th period English honors teacher, met in her class, and she married us.
She did. But before we get to those nitty-gritty details, I remember our very first conversation. Do you remember our very first conversation?
Like ever? Like even
ever?
high?
Like the one where it set off this journey.
When I was like trying to turn in my stuff and you were looking at
Yeah, that one.
Go
that
ahead.
One.
Go for it.
Oh, no, I like it when you tell it.
So, me being the studious student that I was.
And me not.
I was trying to turn in my assignment in the turn-in box. And I'm pretty sure I saw Sam staring at my rear end. We'll keep this PG. And I asked her, were you just staring at my... And her response?
I sure was.
The thing that's crazy is in high school, you know the gay people. Let's just be straightforward. Let's be blunt. That's what this is about. It's unfiltered, right?
That's fair.
You know, the girls who play basketball, if they're masculine presenting, there were a couple cheerleaders and all of that. But then you don't know everybody.
That's fair.
And so when you get a response like, yes, I was, I didn't know what to do with that. Right? I'm like, yo, is this flirting? Am I in trouble?
I was flirting.
I didn't really know what to do with that. It was really difficult to outright know, especially for a more feminine presenting person. It was shocking to me. And I think I was a little taken aback because I wasn't really expecting you to say that.
I think I might have caught myself by surprise too. But I was a little bit more bold then. I was in my, I don't care about anything because I'm a bad,
individual.
And because of all of that, when it got to that moment, I just came out.
Yeah.
But I think it set things off in the greatest direction possible.
Oh, it became a far more interesting ride and journey for sure.
Absolutely.
And I think without that first interaction, we don't get to hear.
I agree.
And I really don't even know what possessed me to ask you that so bluntly.
Because it was always meant to be.
Okay, we can be corny that way.
I want to say that though, because I feel as we go through our story and our history of who we are and how we came to be and what this has evolved into, I think we'll learn that there were so many factors that lined up for us to be where we are today. So when I say that as, even though it was like a snarky response to your quick comment, I think it was always meant to be.
No, I agree. Because when you think about, and we're not going to tell everything in episode 1, but when you think about the journey, it all aligned for a reason. And I'm glad I asked the question and got us to where we are. So
I agree.
I'm glad you answered.
The way I did?
Yeah, and didn't say like, ill.
No,
I was not.
No, I was definitely looking.
I mean, we'd be telling a totally different story if you're just like, ill, gross. Like, who are you?
Weird. No. I was not going to do that. But yes, I understand.
Yeah. And so from there, we had some times. And then we get to the first date.
our first date.
This is high school. We were in high school. We had no money, okay? So don't judge us.
Well, hold on now, because I worked.
Okay, we had high school jobs.
We did.
Okay.
So I had money, honey.
Okay. Whatever minimum wage was giving us.
$7.50 an hour.
Okay,
no, I'm just kidding.
back in
let me take that back.
2011.
I was balling. I was a big baller.
Balling on a budget in high school. Okay?
People don't say that anymore. World.
Damn, we showing our age. What do students say?
I have no
the
idea.
alpha class.
What
would they?
To be fair, they weren't really talking about how much money they had because they were in 4th grade.
That's fair. Okay, 4th graders
no
have nothing, so I don't know what the new generation is saying.
But we did have jobs, and my wife here, because she is my wife now, actually reached out to a friend to get my number.
Yeah, and that friend was like, I'm not giving out her number, but I'll give her yours.
Right.
And I was like, all right.
Now, you have to jog my memory on this part, because was it me or was it you?
So I usually get myself in trouble because I just say things like, are you staring at my? And I asked her for your number. She said no. She said, I'll give her your number instead. So give me your number and I'll give it to her. And if she wants to pursue this, she'll do that. And you texted me. Well, how else did it converse? I didn't have your number, so you have to text me.
No, I'm trying to remember exactly what was said. But go ahead.
There was still text messaging back then. We're not that old.
Yes.
And then me being my snarky self, I said something along the lines of, when are you taking me out on a date? And then you said we can go on Friday or something like that. And I
gave a direct answer.
Yeah, and I was really like, I was just talking
she thought she was cute, but I thought
I was cute.
No, you are cute. You were cute. God. You are still cute. But no, I remember, because then I was like, oh, put it on the calendar. Yeah. Not in those words, because that's today's language.
Yeah, and that was it, really. You were like, how about Friday or something like that? And I was like, okay. And you're like, pick me up from work.
Yeah, because I worked at the mall, because, again, I had a job. And we went right across the street to Steak and Shake. Yep, that's where we had our first date.
In my defense, I really didn't even know where to take you. We were at first trying to drive around and think about it. And then we passed Steak and Shake, and I was like, I've never been there.
Yeah, but you had shakes.
I had shakes
there,
but
I've had shakes from there, but I've never eaten there. And I was like, oh, bet I've eaten there before, so let's go.
Yeah, I'd been at the drive-thru and gotten shakes with my mom, but I had never actually had food there.
Yeah.
And so we went inside and we ate. I think it was like a $15 meal.
It really was.
And that's probably the last $15 meal we've ever had. I mean, these meals just get more and more expensive now, like $15 for some water or something.
You know what? You're right. But I think we had a really good time that night, because after that,
you kissed me?
Yes.
Again, bold individual you are. Because another thing I was not expecting, people might think that it's me, that I'm the more forward one, but it was definitely you.
It was me. It was me.
Yeah. And we'll get more to like initiating and things like that as the season progresses, but it's just so interesting, like, to recall all of this now and talk about it. Very interesting.
I was a little bit bolder then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just was in my life is life and I'm gonna live it era. And it was a moment. Why not take it?
Listen, I have no complaints.
Let's just say I secured the bag. But anyway,
I agree with that.
I know.
Times 2.
I know. I will say this. This is the beginning of our story, and there are so many details that we could share about all of this, but we did not expect to be here 14 years later. Not at all.
It was senior year.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, we had been going to same high school for 4 years.
Right. Never met. We didn't meet until senior year.
We went to a pretty big high school. I think our graduating class was like 700.
Yeah. And with that being said, we didn't become girlfriends. We dated, we talked, we did a lot of that for several months, but we didn't officially kick it off until the end of senior year. So even then it was like, we're doing this thing, but Alisha was going to be going to college, and I was going to be taking a year before going to college and not to travel across Europe. And I wish.
I wish you would
I
take me with
mean,
you, please.
I
It's
had-
not too late. We can still do that. Maybe not for a year, though.
I had other plans because I had to get my life figured out in order to take that next step. I wasn't quite where she was. It was never like, we're in this forever. It was more like, we're in this and let's live it.
Yeah, and let's see where it goes. There was no pressure.
Right.
Right? Obviously, we haven't been single in forever. The last time we were single, we were 18.
Yeah.
You know, year old kids. And so it's hard to speak on it in a way that our single friends in their 30s
Right.
would have that kind of conversation. But I also see our single friends in their 30s, and I feel like there's so much pressure to be like, where is this going? Like,
Right.
are you looking for commitment? Is this long term?
Right.
You know what I mean? I know we're going off on a
know.
different journey for what this conversation is supposed to be.
But it's unfiltered. So
yeah, and we're going to keep it raw and keep it real with you guys. I think that's the beauty in all of it. Like, there
Agreed.
was just no pressure. It was young. It was innocent. It was free.
fun. It was free. And
Yeah.
we had ties to what our future might look like, but we had no guarantee on what it was going to be. So it was
Exactly.
like, we're going to live, we're going to learn, we're going to grow, we're going to be here together, we're going to take these adventures and then see where it leads us. And if we're still here at the end of it all, even if the raw and dirty is out on the table, then let's just keep writing.
You know what's so funny? Because this does tie into what today's topic is supposed to be about. You said we just laid it all on the table and we
Yeah.
said, let's see where this journey takes us. But we made a pact.
We did.
Talk to the people about the pact that we made. As young as we were, as innocent as we were, as free as this whole thing was, we made a pact.
We did. So we sat in a car one day.
I'm gonna quiz you now. I'm gonna quiz you.
Shoot. Lord, my memory is
where
not great.
were we?
We were
You said in the car, which is true.
We were in a
Where
car
else were we?
in a parking lot.
In a parking lot. Mm-hmm. So far, you're right, and your memory sucks. So I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you.
We were in a parking lot.
Do you remember what parking lot of what fast food place?
McDonald's.
No. Ew. I'm sorry.
I know.
Might get an endorsement. My bad. McDonald's, great place. Do you want me to tell you?
Yes, please.
Dairy Queen.
We did have this conversation, and I was like, "What are we doing in Dairy Queen?"
I don't know why we were at Dairy Queen. Ice cream, man. I don't know.
Yes, so strange.
Again, we were 18 years old.
were.
Okay.
No
if you
care
want
in the
dessert, we go to Dairy
We're gonna
Queen.
get dessert because
Okay.
our bodies didn't react the same way. No.
That's when I could do dairy.
Yeah. Oh. Well,
No, but seriously, we were at Dairy Queen.
we were at Dairy Queen because we did have this conversation last time, but we made this pact, and the pact was she was going to college. So if we could last her first year in college,
Mhm.
while I stayed back home and worked my little jobs here that I had set, and we managed to make it back and forth and stuck around for each other, then we would move in together
Right.
after that year.
So I mean, we were young, but we still had a plan.
We did. I will chuck it up to this one because this one always had a plan. So it kind of gave us a plan without making it super formal for me, I guess.
Yeah, because it was just like, if this works out, this
Yeah.
long distance relationship, I'm going to school. It's a couple hours away.
Yeah.
I'm going to be over there living in the dorms. You're going to be back home. Obviously, we're going to see each other. You're going to come to me. I'm going to come back. If this works for a year,
Then we'll make it work. And we're going to move in together. And if that works, then we'll keep this journey going.
Yeah.
And it did. It really did.
we actually skipped a month. We moved in together
I
after
agree.
11 months. So we were a little ahead of schedule, but it worked out for the better.
It worked out for the better. And when we moved in together, it really just solidified everything that we had worked on for all that time, like getting ready, turning into young adults from high school students.
Yeah. And then you got college.
Yeah.
I had already been in this new city for a
Mhm.
year by myself, even though you had come
Mm-hmm.
quite often to visit. And so you kind of grew with the city as well. But college brings so many other things because you're young adults. You're discovering things about yourself you didn't know before. You're trying to figure out, where do I fit in the world? I tell people, if you're going to go to college, and I get it, college is not for everyone, But that is probably where you have the most self-discovery.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree.
And so trying to navigate that self-discovery
Mm-hmm.
and a young relationship where two people are navigating that self-discovery,
Yeah,
it comes with its challenges.
I agree. So the thing was, even though I had decided to take that year off after high school and you went to college,
Mhm.
you had your own experience.
Yeah.
She was in a dorm, living the college life, different from others with the fact that she worked, but you were living the college life and I was working. I was back home and I was working 2 jobs. I experienced a different life post high school graduation. So we were navigating those experiences while simultaneously being together and navigating that experience.
Yeah.
So I think that was a journey within itself.
Yeah.
Because then after that year, we did move in together. And now we're navigating her being in college and me figuring out how to get into my college.
Yeah.
So that I can also start my journey and experience that post high school learning journey that some people talk about.
Yeah, because I guess you would have come in March.
Right.
And
I couldn't start
and
till
even
the-
start school until August.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's quite a few months right there, about
Yeah.
5 months.
So it was a big transition. I wasn't working at that point, so I left my jobs.
You left your siblings.
I left my siblings. I left home. I left my family. I moved to a new city. It was a very big transition. She already gone through the transition. Now she's leaving the dorm life and all of those experiences and moving into apartment life. So it was all a huge transition for us.
It was days of transitioning, right? Like there's so many different transitionings happening at once. And I guess the most important one is trying to make sure we find time for each other and that we're growing together and not apart. When I think about it now, I don't know how we really navigated that at 19 years old.
I'm going to tell you exactly how. Phase 10. Phase 10, if you hear this, the people, the creators, whoever you are,
same with Uno.
Sponsor us because I swear we played Phase 10 so many
we didn't
times.
Have internet, man.
I thought I was the champion until I found out she played me and was letting me win.
Babe, that is not the way to phrase that. I played
you. She played me and was letting me win.
If anything, I allowed you to play me.
Whatever, you know what I mean. She was letting me win just so that I could feel good because I was mad that I couldn't win. But anyway.
The thing is, it was just such a different world,
it
right?
Was.
Like the world we live in now where we're always on our phones.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that yet, right?
No.
We obviously had cell phones. The reality is we had exposure to social media and things like that, but it was not as big as it is today.
Agreed.
And we didn't have cable.
Nope.
We were bumming off internet from our neighbors. And so like
unfiltered.
Listen, if you hear this now, neighbor, and you want your 30 bones, like
no, don't put that out there.
See Sam about it.
I don't know her.
So, we were playing board games. We were playing Scrabble. We were playing Phase 10. You know what I mean? We were watching TV on YouTube.
Yes.
Because all that streaming stuff, that wasn't even a thing.
No, it was a thing. It wasn't our thing.
It wasn't our thing. We didn't have cable. So
I didn't have a job.
Yeah, we're not paying for all that.
We had enough money saved up to get us through those long months. We had to pay our rent. Okay?
It was definitely a different dynamic.
It was.
Yeah. But when I think back on it, I'm like, yo, we really did it. You know what I mean? We made it work. And obviously there were hard times. There were challenging conversations. But once we were in it, I never doubted that we wouldn't continue. Once we were like fully in it, living together, it never really crossed my mind that this might not happen forever. It was just, it's Alisha and Sam. Like, Sam and Alisha, like, this is going to work. You know what I mean? Like, we're here now.
I agree. Like, we had matching bathroom sets. We were 19. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're adults, man.
We were adults.
We have a shared bank account. Yes. It's just so crazy because, again, if I were a single person today, 32, starting to date someone, I don't know if I'm doing all that off rip. I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But we grew up as
We
kids
did.
together.
A lot of people thought, like they say, okay, you're young, you're starting this life, and you don't know where it's gonna lead you, and all these things. And I agree to a certain extent. As an adult who has lived a little bit of life, I'm not that old, but I agree that we were young. We had really no clue what we were getting ourselves into. I think the difference was that we formulated a plan and we stuck to it. And not only did we stick to it, but we lived our lives through it.
Yeah.
And I think that if we hadn't lived our lives through it, like if we were rigid in how things were supposed to be or set these expectations that were unrealistic for ourselves, I think it would have changed everything.
That's why I talk about pressure.
Yeah.
We already were dealing with so many other things that were pressure filled, right?
Right.
We're in college. We're trying to make ends meet without asking our parents or relying on others. Like we have each other.
Right.
But if we also was adding this pressure that this is how it's got to be and I expect this from you,
it would have been difficult.
It would have been too hard.
Especially with school. Like once Alisha was obviously still in school. That didn't change. She was also working because she had been there for a year. So when I finally got my job, we created that dynamic where we started to go to work and then she'd come home from school, go to work, then we'd come home and we'd play games and have conversations and
eat dinner
and do all of that. And then as time progressed and I started school in the fall, then it was like, okay, routine. We go to school during the day. In the afternoon, we go to work. We come home and then do dinner. We eat at the table, we play a game, we sit and we talk.
I think the thing is, it was so natural, right? Even thinking back on it now, I remember this one bedroom apartment, this Kmart table with 4 chairs, like,
Kmart.
You know what I mean? Yeah, shout out Kmart. Hey, if y'all come back, we got you Kmart photos. We had a Kmart table, you know what I mean? Like, hey, come see your girl. But seriously, even thinking back on it now, it's really no different from our lives now.
It really is.
We go to work, we go live our lives, we come home,
yeah,
we eat dinner together. We may not play Phase 10, we might watch one of our shows or whatever the case may be, or just talk each other's ears off about our day, but it always looked like this.
We created our own routine.
Yeah.
And not the kind of boring routine that you're like, oh, here we go again. It was more like a system that worked for our brains and who we are as individuals.
But this sounds perfect right now, right? Like, this sounds like it just worked, right? It was 100% every day. Do you remember an early on fight that we had while we were young? And now you probably look back on it and you want to laugh and be like, that was silly.
I don't know. You got one?
I remember it involved a stapler being thrown at me and hitting the wall in this apartment we do not own, causing a minor damage that we didn't put like a picture frame over. Do you remember? I didn't throw the stapler at myself. Do you recall throwing it?
First off, I plead the fifth. No, I'm just kidding.
See, she knows too many lawyers. You know too many lawyers. That's what it is. Okay.
Okay. So I don't remember the exact details. It's been 14 years, and I know people have been together longer than we have, but honestly, certain things you just let go of because they don't affect you in the same way. I mean,
because your head was not in jeopardy.
Sure, but I remember being called crazy, and I don't know what you know, but what I know is that if you call me crazy, I'm going to show you crazy. And I had to show her crazy. In that moment, again, I was 19. I think a little bit of me just was so riled up, like, I know she didn't just call me crazy.
I don't even know what we were fighting about. We were like just arguing about something. And then I was like, you're acting crazy.
Yeah. And I remember that word because that became a trigger word. And we discussed that being a no-no zone. But I threw the stapler at her. And then she said something to me. And I said, I only missed because I aimed to miss. So anyway, yeah, we weren't always like, oh my God, we're so great. Let's have a conversation at the dinner table. No, that's not how it went.
Those staplers were harmed.
In the making of our lives. But realistically speaking, we had our moments. To be real, you're 19, you're juggling a job, you're juggling school. Stuff was stressful.
This is PG-13 show, okay?
I know.
Maybe
Things were stressful. It was very stressful. I think that it was cutthroat. We're trying to succeed academically, right? We're trying to succeed and create a way for us to survive without having to live paycheck to paycheck at 19, right? Because we were kids. Again, we were on our own with how we were handling things. So it was a process of learning and handling business. So it did become stressful at times.
Yeah.
I think so. But I do believe that we created systems for ourselves. Were they perfect? No, absolutely not. We had built generational wealth by now. I think yeah, we are working on it. But I do think that we learned from every bit of our journey because we were in school and we were learning academically. We were at home and we were learning personally and in our relationship, and we were growing within that. And I think that it was stressful. We had arguments, we had our moments. We had moments where we were annoyed with each other. What we didn't do was not talk to each other. Now, were we always giving all of everything that we wanted to say? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because that took a lot of learning and growth to get better at that later on in our journey. But I do think that we were as honest as we could be in that moment.
So what would you say was like one of the most helpful skills that we developed then that obviously we're still using today to keep this going for an annoying 14 years?
Honestly, I don't know where we learned this from or who we picked it up from. But for me, one of the things that we tried to do our best with was not going to sleep angry.
Yeah.
Or we weren't solving our problems in a day. So I don't want to say, oh, we went to sleep so happy and peaceful together.
We figured it out.
No, that was not the case.
More so, we were still upset. We got into bed,
but we cuddled,
and somebody gonna hold somebody.
Exactly. And
I ain't going to sleep like that.
Exactly. And I don't know where that came from.
I need peace to go to sleep.
Right. But we are cuddlers, and that was one thing I don't think we ever really gave in on. There might have been, I don't want to say never, maybe like 1 or 2 nights, but it's definitely nights I can count on one hand.
Yeah.
But I do think that was a big thing for us, even at 19. Like, we're pissed, we're angry, we're annoyed, we're frustrated, but we're going to continue this conversation tomorrow. And even if that conversation continued for a longer time.
Yeah, multiple days, whatever.
Right, or hell, even longer, like things that
or comes back later and you're like, wait, I thought we resolved that.
Right. I think that is something we did
stick to. Looking back, is there a particular moment that you would say solidified it for you, that you knew this was like for real? I mean, I know that's less loaded and it's been a lot of time, so I don't know if you have a particular
moment where I knew this was for real. I don't know.
I can go first.
Go for it.
And it actually ties into your vows. But I remember I can't remember exactly what happened, but okay. I remember you talking once and speaking about the future. Mm-hmm. And you said something about like, when we're married and da-da-da-da-da-da. And you're just talking very casually and just going on. And I'm for those first time to us, to Sam and Alisha, you will learn I am a very logical person. That's probably why I'm a lawyer. Like, that's just who I am. Mm-hmm. And I remember not being able to follow the rest of the conversation because in the back of my mind, I'm like, can't get married, right? It wasn't legal. Like, it wasn't a thing. So I'm just like, not sure why she threw that in there. But that was where I was thinking. And for you, it was so natural that like, because there was a future for mm-hmm. us, that was just inevitable, right? Like, obviously that's going to happen. And I remember pausing you and being like, we can't get married, right? Like, it's not a legal thing. We live in good old sunshine state of Florida. And you were just so innocently taken aback by me making that reference. You were just like, oh, well, you know what I mean. And like, you just continued. And to me, it was like, I don't know how old we were. We're probably 19 at this point. It was very early on. And I was just like, yeah, this girl wants forever. And that, for me, that was a moment that I'll never forget. And I will always be like, she knew in year one, like she was ready in year one. She knew where this was going. And that's so crazy to me.
You know, what's crazy to me is that when I talk about marriage, I always say, like, I never thought I was getting married. And I will stick by that. I never thought I was getting married. Not because I never thought I'd find the one. Not at all. I just always saw, like, growing up, I was like, I saw a future with kids. I never saw a future with who that was going to be with. Mm-hmm. And not to say, oh, I didn't know who I wanted to be with. No, it was more like I just knew I'd be a mom someday. I never considered who I was going to be with to be a mom.
Did you ever see yourself like as a wife?
No, like I just never pictured it. I wasn't one of those little girls who dreamed about getting married and the wedding dress and any of that. So hearing that, and we've talked about that moment before, actually. Yeah. Recently, because we had other conversations about having kids. I'm sorry to say this to all of our dear family. We are not having a kid yet.
We are not pregnant. I'm not. Sam is not
pregnant. I am so sorry. We're still navigating that part of our lives, but we're not quite there yet. Yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there. But we've had this conversation recently.
There are people at home crying right now, right?
I know. But
we'll let you guys know.
We'll keep you updated. But
would you like a shot?
Well, to be fair, so we had that conversation recently, but thinking about it, when we hit almost a year, I was in Delulu land because I thought
you could have been in love.
You were gonna give me a ring.
Oh yeah, that was another interesting moment,
so
man.
That's my moment.
There's so many interesting moments. Sam's like class ring went missing.
Oh yeah, we were living together at this point. My high school graduation class ring was missing, and I wore that thing down. Yeah. I used to wear a ton of rings that just were around from the family and things like that, but I wore that thing every day, and then one day it was gone. And I was like, the only way I could have lost that one ring was because Alisha stole it, because she's going to give me a ring.
Alisha at 19.
At 19 in our one-bedroom apartment for $450.
Good times, man. Good cheap times.
But that is not what happened.
Yeah. And I did, like, when she asked me, I remember you're like, where? I'm like, I have no idea where your ring is. And then disaster. When we realized like this just was not going to show up,
I was devastated.
And you were like, I thought you were going to. And I was just like,
she's like, absolutely.
Like, I haven't. Again, Alicia's very logical. I'm like, I haven't finished college. We just started dating. Like, we just started living together. I don't even know if this is for real right now, because you could be. I'm not going to use that word because there might be a flying stapler. You could be somebody you're not. So. It baffled me, but it did teach me that you were serious about this. And that, I think, was a pivotal moment for me.
I agree.
What would you say is our biggest strength as a couple? And I mean now, like not looking back, just like general.
I think our biggest strength as a couple is that we're always willing to have a conversation. I don't just mean talking. And I know that a lot of people have addressed this, like, oh, no, you're not just talking at each other. You have to understand each other. Comprehension is key.
Yeah.
Comprehension is key. It's absolutely important. It's necessary. It's valuable. And it's not just it in a relationship.
Yeah.
Academically, you can comprehend off rip, or you can learn to comprehend in small steps. But in a relationship, I think that it's comprehending a variety of components that it's understanding who we are as individuals, how we work as individuals, what works for us as individuals, and how that collaborates as a couple.
Yeah.
And I think that we are having to constantly navigate that because we grow and we change, and our experiences change who we are as thinkers, and we evolve into new thinkers. So it's like, how does that affect the way we feel about a situation now versus a year ago or 2 weeks ago or 10 years ago? I think that is a big strength for us. What about you?
For me, I would say it's the fact that we like each other. And we talk about that, right? Like, you meet different people, whether you've known them for 5 minutes or 5 years, and you can tell, like, I don't know if they like each other, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I really don't. These could just be people that we happen to sit next to each other at an event. Yeah. We don't know them, right? We just can get that vibe. You can feel the tension. The reason why I say that's so important to me is because no matter what I share with you, I will never be trying to intentionally hurt you.
That's fair.
And I think when I hear about so many relationships, think about just like friends you may have, family members that you may have that call you for advice or tell you about a situation they have experienced. And when I hear about it, in the back of my mind, I'm like, this person doesn't like you, right? Like, even think about it think about friendships,
right?
Like, not just romantic relationships, right? Or intimate relationships. Think about friendships. If you don't like someone, you can really intentionally hurt their feelings. You know things about them, right? I know what your pet peeves are. I know what your insecurities are, right? I know these things about you. If I didn't like you, I could use those things to intentionally hurt you, right? Because we're in an argument. And so when I hear people say, oh, we were in an argument and he said this to me, or we were in an argument, she said this to me, but we were just angry. That is too much for me to handle, right? I am always taken aback by it. Like, we can be in an argument and I can feel a certain way and I can tell you how that made me feel without it having to be an attack on you or me now trying to use something against you to hurt you.
Right.
And so I think for me, like, the fact that we like each other, we are always in the back of our minds trying to make sure we're protecting each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, your feelings, your well-being, all of that.
Right. And I want to say this on top of that. I do think that we are always in like of each other. I do think that outcome outweighs intention sometimes. And so even if we feel like we're not trying to personally attack someone, sometimes it can be perceived that way. So there might be instances where
triggers happen. Sure.
Yeah. Things were said in response to something that was felt without realizing the actual intention behind the comment.
For sure.
So I would like to say that even though that is absolutely true, I think that it's a growing process.
Of course. Especially when you learn that, okay, last time in an argument, I said this and it made you feel a certain way.
Right.
I'm obviously going to try to refrain from doing that again because at the end of the day, I value you. I value your feelings.
Right.
I don't want to intentionally hurt you.
Right.
Have I hurt you? Absolutely.
Sure.
Have you hurt me? Absolutely. But not intentionally. And that's the part that always boggles my mind is when I hear things and I'm like, no, that was on purpose. Yeah. You know, he said that on purpose. Like, there's no other reason for that conversation. Right. And so for me, that's always to me been a strength because I know there are times where you're upset. You could say something, you're not going to. And it's because you value me. You're looking to protect my feelings at the end of the day. And I think that just comes from liking each other.
I agree. And a place of growth, like 19-year-old Sam and Alisha evolved over time and have learned to have those conversations where they understand what is a trigger and what isn't, and have learned to navigate those conversations that are slightly like arguments, but not full-blown arguments that we would have had at 19.
Yeah.
So I agree.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
I agree. All right. I think we balance each other in ways that is Probably looks like super clingy to some.
Look super what?
Clingy.
Clingy, yeah.
Codependent, might I add, for some. But I think we work well for each other.
It doesn't work for everybody, right?
Right.
I would prefer to include you when I'm going out somewhere, and I prefer to spend time with you over just going to go hang out. That's me. That might not be someone else's relationship.
Right.
And you have to find that balance in your relationship. And I think that's important too, right? We've done trips separate with friends, and we've hung out and gone to happy hours with
Right.
different groups of people. And that's okay. But probably 85% of the time, probably more.
We spend it with each other.
Yes, that is true. And that works for us. If
It
it doesn't
does.
work for your relationship, it doesn't. And that's okay.
No one's asking you to do it differently from the way you prefer.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to stick to what you feel is comfortable in your relationship together as who you are in a unit.
Of course.
And if that doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does, make it work.
No, I agree. And when you talk about balance, again, I've said I'm very logical and you go with the flow. And that has always been a struggle for me. And the times that I have relaxed and allowed that to be a thing, I have found it to be enjoyable. I just can't do that in Alicia's everyday life. That will give me a lot of anxiety. I like to know what I'm doing next. I like to know what I'm doing every hour of the day if I can. Like, okay, for these 3 hours, I'm going to work on this. For these 2 hours, I'm going to be doing this. I like that. I like structure in that way.
Yeah.
But you're more free spirited. You're like, things are going to get done. You might start on this project and then move to this other one. And I think that balance is important too. If we were both very much the same, I think it would be a lot more headbutting.
I agree. I think that because we share many things, but we're also different in many ways.
Use your words wisely.
I think it helps us as a couple, as a unit, as two people who love and like each other, because we aren't the same exact person. So we give each other what we need. I need structure in a lot of things, because if not, I would be Project Mayhem and just everything would be started and probably finished in later dates.
In due time.
Yes. It would get done, but
Yeah.
just on a different timeline of life. But I do need structure. And I think Alisha has taught me a lot of that over time, how to structure my life, how to add that into my routine. So
yeah, I feel the same way, that there are times where in my mind, I'm supposed to have done a bajillion things and you reel me back in and are like, Alisha, look at your life. Look at all your accomplishments. Like,
yes.
What is wrong with you? You're 32. You're doing this. You've done that.
You've done that.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm great. You know what I mean? You're absolutely correct.
You know? She is great, y'all.
Every now and then you need that, right? You need that kind of tug of war where it's like, let me pull you back to reality. Let me pull you back to where you actually belong and find ways to make each other feel validated. And I think that's really important.
I agree. I agree.
So what would you say we have implemented to keep things connected, keep us keeping that spark, keeping everything alive? What would you say?
A couple of things. I think we still eat dinner together. It might be at our actual dining table some days, and it might be at the pull-out table that we have in the living room because we're working and watching TV and eating at the same time.
Yeah. Or it might be at a restaurant.
Or it might be at a restaurant because we wanted to go out and eat because we like each other's company. So I think that that's one of our favorite things. And if Alicia's cooking, because she's the cook, I will sit and we'll have a conversation while she cooks in the kitchen. I think that's also important. In the mornings, if we have a slow start to our morning, we sit and eat in the morning and we have a conversation. I'll never forget when we had friends over and it was 6 a.m. and I was getting ready to leave for work and you were handing me my coffee and we were talking about the plans for the day. And our friend was like, my goodness, you guys are way too alert for the early morning. What is happening?
Like you guys are actual adults. Like
You're having
conversations at 6:00. You're making each other food and coffee and getting each other out the door. And it's like,
Yes.
this is us every morning.
Because that's our routine
Yeah.
of finding ways to have conversations that are just a part of everyday normal life.
Yeah. We never leave the house without a kiss.
We don't. And if we do, someone is upset. And not like angry, like you want to be mad at each other all day.
Even when we're upset with each other, we still like
call each other
and give that angry kiss before you leave the
Yeah.
house, sort of thing.
But yeah,
And we always talk on your drive.
to work, which is going to change now because there are changes coming.
So that 25, 30-minute drive
Yeah.
every morning on the phone.
Yeah. Every morning. So that's a thing we've always done.
Yeah. And I think that keeps us connected because I've heard from a variety of folks that like, oh, I don't really know what my partner is up to at work or what's going on in their lives because they're living not separate lives, but at the end of the day, you have different jobs, you have different friends, whatever. So it can kind of feel that way in a shift. But I like knowing, I may not even know who the different colleagues are, I haven't met them necessarily, but hearing what's going on at your job, you hearing what's going on at mine.
And then we do events at each other's place of employment.
Exactly.
Which,
so it keeps us connected.
Right.
I think that's something that's very uncommon for a lot of folks. Like I did a lot of volunteering at your job. You're always consistently coming to different conferences and events at mine and dinners and things like that. And I think that that is pretty unusual for a lot of couples, but I've come to the school however many times. I'm like, I've never seen the spouses of a lot of them.
Right.
Right. And it's not because they don't love each other and things like that, but they're just, those are separate worlds for them. But I do feel like it keeps us connected because then when you're telling me like, I'm upset with so-and-so, or I had this frustrating experience, or I had this experience and this person came to my defense and I'm really grateful for them, I can figure out who it is. Exactly. Like I see it. I know who these people are. I know the students you're talking about. Like I know what they look like, their parents look like. And I think it's important so that you don't feel kind of drifting.
I agree. I think that if this isn't something you already do, but you would like to do, I think it's something you should implement into your life with your partner. If that's something you guys are able to do, be more involved in your work-life experiences. And I don't mean be in it to the point where you guys don't live separate lives.
Yeah. You're supposed to still be your own person.
Right. I think that you should be your own person and you should have your own experiences, but it's nice to share in something. So when you are frustrated or when you are excited about something, you can share it and they can understand it and live it with you. I, for example, was a debate coach and I'm like, man, my kids rocked it. I had 2 kids get awards and this is amazing.
Exactly.
And she understood that experience because she volunteered to be a judge for debate competitions, not for my students because she couldn't, but for other students. So she could see the experience and she was like, oh, I get it. I know what that's like. So I think it's cool to be able to relish in those moments of excitement, but also sharing those frustrating moments. I know when she's frustrated, but I also understand where it's coming from because I know the environment. It's nice to experience that. So if you haven't done it, I think it's something you should try.
No,
if it works for you.
I agree. And I think like when I hear things like, I did this amazing thing at work and my partner did not acknowledge it or wasn't even aware, not that they didn't acknowledge it because they didn't want to. They're not trying to be a jerk, right? They didn't acknowledge it because they didn't know that they were supposed to. They weren't aware of it. And I'm always baffled by that because I'm having my first hearing or something like that. I'm telling Sam about that morning, right? Like on her drive, I'm getting dressed and I'm like, this is gonna be my first hearing. And she's like, you're gonna crush it. Let me know how it goes. And then she knows it's happening at 10 a.m. So 11, 12 o'clock, she's gonna text me and be like, so how did it go, right? So this idea that I could have had that experience and she not know about it or not follow up. If that were the case, I would find that to be very frustrating. And I can see how that can be a detrimental factor in a relationship. And so for me, it would be something as simple as having those morning powwows. Like, what does your day look like? You don't have to talk the whole 25, 30-minute car drive like we do, but have a powwow in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got this hearing today. I'm really hoping that I crush it. Hey, my students are testing today. Wish them good luck.
Have something. And people love to talk about pillow talk, like a couple's greatest conversations come during pillow talk. That's amazing. That's great. But honestly, sometimes this one hits the pillow and she's out for the count in 5
I'm going to
seconds.
sleep.
So our conversations can't be during that time.
Yeah, we have some, but not all
Right.
of them.
If the bedroom is a sacred place. So I think that it's nice to have those conversations outside of a space where magic is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But I also think it's nice to be able to have conversations in any setting that we're in. We're having a conversation right now and we're talking about things, we're bringing things up. All of this is you recognizing that you need something and I need something and we're giving it to each other. Is it always perfect? No. And it won't be.
Yeah.
And some of the conversations will be like, okay, you're not really interested in the story. Let's shift it. That has happened.
Yeah.
But again,
Or
you learn.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah,
I'm being way too technical, and I'm like, you're not following me, are you?
No, like there's some things in the law that I just won't understand, no matter how many times you break it down. But no, seriously, I do think that those are moments where, even though in that moment we're like, I don't really understand where you're getting at, it's also a time for us to be like, okay, I get it,
Yeah.
right? And we keep having a conversation and we keep on going and it just builds from there, honestly. So I think that if there's any advice in that first off, for those of you who are high school sweethearts or who have been together for a long time from a young age, an appropriate age.
That's that teacher right there. That's like, hey, appropriate age.
I think, will young love last? I think it's up to you.
Yeah.
I think it's up to us, right? Do we want this to last? If we do, what are we going to do to make it last?
Be intentional.
Right. Be intentional.
Be intentional.
Like be on purpose.
That's why we're saying make time to be intentional, right? So whatever that looks like for you. It can be the pillow talk. It can be the morning powwows. It can be text messages throughout the day. Whatever that looks like for you, be intentional and try to find some consistency in that.
Agreed.
Because you can do it like you go to couples therapy. They tell you to do this thing. You write it down. You do it for a week. And then it doesn't work.
Right.
Find something that works for you.
Yeah. And you as a couple. Because if it works for you and only you, then it's not serving its purpose. But I agree.
And if you're not a couple.
If you're not a couple.
What if you're not a couple?
Looking to be a couple.
I think you got to figure out what is important to you.
I agree. What is important to you that you want in a partner that isn't an extensive set of expectations that are unrealistic, right? We are human. This has been a lot of growth, a lot of learning. And I keep repeating those exact words, but honestly, they are as true as they can be.
Yeah. This is work. This is every day intentionally working on this.
Right. We choose each other over and over and over again. And I like her. I love her. I choose her. But in doing so, that falls into the actions of every day, right? And vice versa. Your expectations shouldn't be unrealistic to what a human is.
I wholeheartedly agree. But I also want to be clear that you deserve to have high expectations.
Agreed with that.
Okay? Don't diminish your expectations because you are concerned that they're too much. I'm a firm believer in you deserve to have every single thing you want. When people say things like, you can't have it all, bullshit. I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to be, but untrue. You know what I mean?
Yes.
True. Because truly, you deserve to have it all. And everything you want, you should get. I really do believe that. And I think that if you work for it, and I don't mean this in the way like, oh, we all can be millionaires if you just work hard and go to work, right? I don't mean it in that way, but I mean, if you want to be in something that works for you, you shouldn't have to wear a mask or downplay how you feel about things or settle on someone or something just because that's the only way to keep them.
So I want to piggyback off of that. I agree with high expectations. That's extremely important. No one should change that for anyone. What I mean when I say expect that we are human is allow a period of grace, right? I'm not a mind reader. She's not a mind reader. We won't know what each other wants until we're openly stating what we want or showing what we want, right? You have to, like she said, be intentional. If you're in the process of getting to know each other, you have to expect that someone is still unaware of your wants and needs.
Yeah.
So you have to give them that bit of grace. Now, if you've showed them, if you've stated it, and they ignore you, keep it pushing, honey. But
do not ignore the flags. People will show you who they are. They will show you.
But I do think that everyone deserves a period of grace in understanding who we are as individuals in order to grow together.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's important to figure out what it is that you want and need and deserve.
One thing I would say to take away from this is to fall in love and like over and over and over again.
It's harder to do than it is to talk about, because as you grow as individuals, there are instances where you feel a shift in your relationship. You feel like, are we growing together? Are we growing apart? Do our goals still align? Am I holding this person back? Is this person holding me back? You start to have those questions. And I think it's important to realize if this is something that I want, I have to work on it. And that means finding the spark, falling in love, falling in light, doing the uncomfortable things, like figuring what that looks like. For me, one of the things that I know Sam has always wanted to do was dance lessons. We only went once, but we bought a package, so we will be back. Sam has wanted us to take dance lessons so that we can be these ballroom show dancers. I don't know when it's going to happen. I might be twirled in the air. I might be twirling her. Who knows? But stay tuned. We'll be on like Dancing with the Stars or something.
Yeah. Queer edition.
Oh. Y'all better make it happen. So doing things that it's a little uncomfortable for me. This is not something I particularly want to do, but I think this will make you smile. And then you do it. And you're like, this is kind of fun. This is silly. We're laughing. And we're sharing in a different experience with each other. And like, why not? If I'm going to do something weird and silly, why not with the person that I love the most?
You love me?
Of course. So I'm with you. Find ways to continue falling in love.
Yeah. And don't forget that.
Yeah. But this is not about the perfect relationship. That's not what we're going to be discussing with you all. This is just our journey, our way.
Yep. And take it or leave it. It's on the table. So we just want you to see more as we open up the floodgates of who we are and our journey of being unfiltered. Thanks for sharing this moment with us on Cmor of Life Unfiltered. If you felt a spark, learned something new, or just laughed along, hit follow, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs it.
You can find more love, learning, and adventure at cmoroflife.com. That's CMOR of Life.com. And across our socials at @CmorofLife_.
Until next time,
keep living unfiltered.